All right, we're going to call the meeting of January 23rd, 2023 to order. And can we have a roll call vote?
Vincent Cutterford.
Here.
Joseph Seibert.
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea.
Here.
Jeffrey Miller.
Yes.
Norman Ritchie.
Here.
Joseph Thomas.
Here.
Paul Hadzik.
Here. Okay. The invocation and pledge of allegiance.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. A prayer for January. Today, Lord, our calendar for January and the months ahead is as fresh and clean as we ourselves could be. If only we tried more often to live as you would have us live. We know that this is possible, Lord, for you are our forgiving Father, God of the second chance, the one who promises that we can always make a fresh beginning. Today, Lord. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so we all had a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting. We need a motion to approve them in a second.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting December 28th, 2022.
Motion's been made by Councilman Seibert, second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Vincent Cutterford. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Now the Treasurer's report. You all had a chance to take a look at that. If we could hear a motion to approve the Treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve the Treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made by Councilwoman DeAndrea and seconded by Councilman Seibert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. Treasurer's report is accepted. And we all had a chance to look at the bills. Do I hear a motion to approve the bills or
I'll make
any
a
questions?
motion to approve the bills as presented.
Okay, the motion's been made by Joseph Thomas. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded by Norman Ritchie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. Any other items of concern?
I'd like to just mention about the time for the meetings, that it's been set at 4 o'clock, and it's totally impossible for me to make it to the 4 o'clock meetings. I feel we should move it to 5 or 6 o'clock. In October, we had talked about 6 o'clock, you know, and it just somehow got moved back to 4.
Well, it somehow got moved back to 4 because I just stated it was going to be 4 because we did move it to 6. And actually less people showed up at 6 o'clock than they do at 4 o'clock. So when I was leaving the meeting last time, I had to ask the question to other council members. I said, what, you know, like, what's the difference between 4 and 6? They said, there was none. Because they, you know, so, I mean, there was a motion and there was a second for 6 o'clock. And, I mean, it's really up to council, whatever you guys want to do. I just did what was suggested to me. So I told Harold it would be 4 o'clock.
What works for you?
Like I
5.
said, I could be here at 5 right from work, you know, if you don't mind the smell of diesel fuel and grease.
No.
But that's, you know, I could do that. Just at 4 o'clock is totally impossible. Other than today that they canceled school. Because if they did cancel school, I would be here.
5 is a good arbitrating number. It's the middle of the road. Make a motion that we return the monthly meetings to 5 p.m.
Are you making a motion or you want to make one?
He
Made
he's
the
making
motion.
Okay, I'll second it then.
Okay, there's been
I
no.
want everybody involved. It's not right, you know.
Well, I understand it. I talked to Jeff yesterday on the phone in detail, and it was like, you know, I just didn't arbitrarily just say, I mean, there's townships and boroughs that have their meetings in the afternoon. The county is a $56 million budget. They meet at 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, so, I mean, of course, they get paid a little more than we do. You know, we get a bag of peanuts and a bale of hay, but, you know, they make a pretty decent salary. So, whatever, do you want to have a roll call vote on that? Motion's been made. It's been seconded by Councilman Seibert. And let's have a roll call on that. We have to add that to the agenda. That's administrative. We don't have to do that.
It's administrative.
Yeah, it doesn't cost
Who's gonna
anything,
complain?
you know?
Me?
Okay, well,
No, I've got to be honest with you. I sort of like 4 because you're done and you can go home and eat instead of going home and trying to eat, and then you got to leave to. But I mean, I'm okay with whatever, you know. In the councils, it is unfair that you can't make it. I mean, I got to the point of getting personal with him when I said, "Well, do you have personal days? You know, that's only 6 hours a year." Because our meetings last all of like 5 minutes.
Well, I did look into that. I did ask that question today, and they said that you have to take a half day or a whole day. So,
You couldn't like take a half,
No.
like a half hour.
no.
Yeah, we don't want using all your time on
No,
aesthetic, right? I mean, if this is a full-time job, it's gonna be different, you know, but we're,
yeah.
I mean, we're not like a big city.
It sort of is, but you just don't get paid.
Yeah,
So, the motion's on the floor, and it's been seconded. How about a roll call vote on that? For 5 o'clock, right?
yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
yes,
Joseph Seibert,
yes.
and Paul Hadzik.
No. I owe you that one, Jeff. You bothered my whole Sunday. Okay, so the meetings are gonna be moved to 5 o'clock. Anything, other items of concern?
Yes, I have 2.
2? Okay.
Concerned citizens have approached me and asked me about what is the status of the old Borough building before it starts to destroy itself within and the exterior. Is there a way that we can get in touch with the owners and press them into some sort of a decision?
Well, I know when I had to go in and read the meters, they have everything turned off now. There is a lot of equipment inside there, you know.
But there's been equipment in there for the longest time.
Right. I mean, we can certainly, you know, get in touch with them and ask them, you know, where he's at with it.
Because I'd hate to see this building collapse and all of that equipment that you said is in there, and that's all that'd be left to be seen around the rubble. I mean, they had high potentials to do stuff with it, and here it is just dormant.
All we can do is ask,
That would be better than just
You know.
not saying anything or asking.
you know.
Yeah, because if not, if that sits like that, that's gonna be a headache down the road, and we all know that.
And I truly, I mean, I have a personal feeling for that building going back to the 70s when we made it the Borough building, but I would just hate to see we lose that sort of a historical building. I mean, when we sold it, we sold it to someone within the borough confines, and thinking that, you know, it would be taken care of and further developed into something, but here we go again. Nothing to show for it except continuation of the diminishing. The other thing is, have we done any movement on the bank?
We've talked to a few banks. We can't bring a bank to town. The bank has to want to come. So we've talked to different banks, but we have gotten,
So we've had dialogue with a few banks, but they didn't show any interest?
Oh, no,
they show, some of them did. But it's, again, the ball's in their court.
So we're at this, it's a status quo, we're at the mercy of those banks making an internal decision whether they want to come to Weatherly or not?
Well, exactly,
Okay.
yes.
Same thing, the Bank of Whitehaven pulled out, there's just an ATM there, you know,
Right.
and they're surviving, so.
In relationship to the bank, is there any business in town that we could discuss an ATM? That ATM is very popular at the bank, and if
Well,
it goes, that's going to go.
We don't know yet, you know, where we're even at with our bank,
Okay,
you know, Truist. So let's wait till we sit down with them
okay,
and see what their
fair
plans are.
enough.
There are people that do have ATMs in the borough, like TJ has one.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
TJ's, yeah.
Firehouse has one.
Firehouse has one.
Okay,
And so there are ATMs. And, I mean, we're not required to supply a bank for the borough, like. you know.
no, I realize that, but we certainly
And,
could
from what
continue some
from-
dialogue in that direction.
Right, well, we've been talking to a few banks. I mean, I talked to the CEO of a bank, and they actually came to town to look at it. And I don't want to disclose their name at this point and create a problem, but I also from what I understand, where Truist is now, they're going to put a deed restriction in that no other bank can move in there for 5 years. And I got that directly from someone, because PNC did a 10-year. Nobody could buy that to be a bank. Why they're doing that, I don't know. Can they do it? I'm sure they can.
They could do it, yes.
It's like having invisible handcuffs.
So,
And why would they do it? So to try and keep the customers, even though they're not having a branch here.
right. But we've been discussing where my old office used to be as district judge down at the end. I mean, that has a drive-through in and everything, so it's not like a bank has to come in and build. I was actually negotiating with Faith Assembly Church to see if we could switch them to another one if a bank does come in, another one of the positions in the mall, the plaza. And they were sort of open to that and cooperative. So it's not like we're going to be stuck for a building somewhere. Because the main cost is going to be the construction. There's no banks building a building anymore.
Let's just say that the concerned citizens, perhaps they just feel that they're left in the dark as far as the old Borough building and the bank itself, so.
Well, as far as being left in the dark about the bank, I knew nothing about it until it was just shocking.
Well, all of us,
the bank's going
all
to
of us are in the
close.
same boat. It's just that it seems like it was announced and then it just dropped. So again, concerned citizens had their questions.
Right. I mean, the school, they deposit, they have deposits, we have deposits, like, everybody's, you know, in the same boat. But we're not required to
No.
have a bank. Like we are an ambulance, we have to do that. So,
Well, there were a lot of people in town that basically were blaming the borough, okay?
I understand
And I
that.
said the borough has nothing to do with banking, okay? You know, they don't have the say. So my answer to them was, okay, there are, and it's everybody's business, okay, not my business, but there are a lot of people that don't do business with the bank, okay? And their answer is, do you know what? How many people go out of the community to do it, okay? Instead of, I mean, you know, when you're hitting the borough, and I had to say, borough has no say on that. They're not in the banking business, so it's nothing that we said that they could or could not do. And I, for one, would like to see a bank, and I think a lot of older people would like to, you know, do their banking in town too. And not only that, the price of everything of going every other place. And if you do your banking with somebody, you know, then you're not being charged. So that's my opinion, and that's what some of our older people are saying. Thank you.
That was a good opinion.
Thank you.
There are a lot of people that do not bank online.
No, yeah. And I'm hearing it all the time. In fact, today, I got 3 phone calls from people, and my answer to them was, please come to the meeting. Okay? That we would love to see people come to the meeting and express themselves, but if not, we are elected
Was it-
people, and I am for the people of the community. Thank
Was it
you.
those 3 people back there?
Yep. But we'd like to see a room full. We have enough people complaining about it, so we don't scream and yell at people.
No. And I don't need a bank because I don't have any money. So I count pennies. Anybody else have any items of concern? They were good points to make because people have been questioning that type of thing.
Thank you.
So, let's see. Nothing else?
Yes. Will it be in our bills, what time our meetings are?
Yeah.
Because I'm having people constantly saying they don't know what time the meetings are, and they're always being changed.
That's right. I screwed everybody up by changing it from 4 to 6 to
Right.
5 to 7.
Okay, so
They're
that's,
gonna be 5.
We'll put it in the bills.
Sorry, Teresa. I was just testing to see if they're paying attention to us.
I try hard.
I know. Is there anything from the audience? You'll have to refund your money for admitting your admittance. What's that? Go ahead, your audience.
Wondering about,
Seth.
The mic, so we can get you recorded.
Get out or speak up, 'cause I can barely hear them.
Right.
right, you asked for me to walk over, it's gonna take a minute.
That's okay, you
That's
take your
okay.
time. Because we were getting tired and exhausted, that's the most we've talked in 3 years.
Okay. About the Schwab School, right? So spend a bunch of time across the street at the church. Spend a lot of time looking at the Schwab School. What's going on?
With the Schwab School,
Yeah.
right now, nothing. But we have things in the works. For instance, we had a U.S. Senator here, and his staff is looking at money. We had Bob Casey here, Senator Casey, and actually just as this afternoon before I came down here, U.S. Senator Fetterman's coming, and we have a congressperson coming, and there's money available. It just didn't hit the ground yet, and once it does, we could do something.
Okay.
And the plan is not from council, but the plan is from what the senators would like to see done is that the annex comes off the building, leave the building as it is, and they were going to put elderly housing in there. I mean, not they were, we would have to.
We would
because we
attract
don't-
somebody to
but
do
we're-
that.
We need the money
Yes.
to do that. At first, we need how much for a roof?
You probably need about 150,000 for a roof.
So we gotta start
So
from the
that's-
top and work our way down.
So if I might,
Go ahead.
I'd like to see the auditorium saved.
Well, We can appreciate that, Seth, but you're not even near that point yet. The first thing to
Yeah.
do is let's find some money that we can do something with. Once we know that we have money, then we can move forward on things like that.
even
But
if
right
it
now,
stands
it's
alone-
finding the ground.
Yeah. But if we take the annex, it might be possible to save the
Oh, I
old
would think so.
Schwab Auditorium. And,
Right.
Did you
Bring
see
it
the,
back.
did you see the auditorium?
I saw it with the floor about this
Well,
high.
well,
and
the trees are probably about
It's-
10 foot
yeah.
high now in there.
It's
I
wide
played
open.
basketball there, there were no trees in that floor when I played.
But you can appreciate maybe saving it if we could figure out how to get a roof on it and maybe some bathroom.
Did you see the roof?
There's no roof on it, I know
It caved
that.
in.
Yeah, we have to put a new roof on it, I hear you.
I mean, total roof.
Yes, sir.
When you say saving the auditorium, you're talking about the annex?
No.
No,
You're talking about upstairs on the
You're talking
third floor.
Yeah,
no,
you're talking two.
No, I'm talking about the building that's the furthest west. The old gym and,
There's no
Oh.
saving
yeah,
that.
that one.
That's the annex.
The old
That's-
gym.
Yeah,
So you think it's
That is part of the
pretty
annex.
far gone?
That's beyond repair.
that's,
Yeah.
I would think that's beyond, I walked through it, was it 10 years ago, and you
Yeah,
fell
it
through
was
the
bad
floor?
then.
Well, I just wanted to ask y'all whether
No,
it's a
that's-
silly idea.
That's a good question because it sort of went to the wayside. Like, nothing's been done. Save our schools, you know, they were going to do all kinds of things and, you have to raise a lot of money.
Yes.
And we are trying to do that, but we just didn't really make it public because we don't want to chase off 2 U.S. senators. There's only 100 of them in the country, so if we get the ear of 2 of them and they could help us out, we're trying, but the borough itself doesn't have the money to do it.
I'll stop with this. As the gym was the heart of this community at one point. Activities galore, all kinds of things. You know it as a basketball player.
Yes, I do remember.
Just wondered whether it was even possible. Take the annex off, leave the gym.
No.
No.
Probably not. Okay.
Another thing is too that they need parking, so that was an issue. And they were looking at, well, some plans had geothermal heat they were looking at putting in there, because that would be a real tough place to heat. And you have to drill wells for geothermal. Yeah, so you understand how that works. But
You guys to tell me that the gym's not worth saving.
I wish we could. I wish we could save the bridge that we tore down. I wish we could save a lot of things, but some things, you know, I wish I could live to be 1,000 years old, but that's not going to happen.
But if you want to use for the old school itself, there has to be parking there. You know. You know.
Yeah, I'd rather see, 15 or 20 units in there for elderly, because you sort of recycle the system.
I don't disagree with you.
No,
Ask the question.
no, I understand that. But if the elderly sell their homes, a younger couple with maybe 2 children move in, that helps the school, that helps the whole thing happen. Right now, there's elderly people have no place to go. We met with HUD. How long ago was that?
Oh, maybe about
There's
6 months ago.
There's 30 people or 30 couples waiting to get into Evergreen Apartments. And that was another thing we talked about, adding another one of those apartment complexes up through HUD. Not council, but we talked to the senator about it and a congressman. And we have a new congressman now. So, Congresswoman Keller, I think her name is.
Wild.
Wilds. Yeah. I thought that's a heck of a name for Congresswoman. Wild.
That's a good idea, PJ.
What is?
The evergreen idea.
It's the only idea I had in 3 years. But it is a good idea. Do you have anything else? How about the other correspondent here? Do you have any questions so far? All right. You don't want to ask me anything. I talk too much. Okay, let's move on to business as long as there's nothing else. Did you have anything, Norm or Vince?
No.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the road paving project, which will give you a list of those streets after the meeting. But you all had a chance to take a look at them.
Well, you're gonna bid this, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, you say approve it, you're gonna approve those roads.
roads,
Right.
right.
Okay.
Right. So we need a motion to approve those roads.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2023 schedule for road paving for the Borough of Woodland.
I'll second it.
Okay, so motion's been made by Councilman Thomas, seconded by Councilman Seibert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we'll move forward to bid those roads.
Right.
Okay. And now the next one we do every year, the electronic recycling. You had a chance to see those dates. We'll get them to you when we're,
They're there.
well, okay, you have them before. They're going to be, it'll be June 3rd at from 9 to 11 a.m. and September 28th from 2 to 4. So we need a motion to approve those dates.
Make a motion to approve those dates for electronic recycling.
I'll second it.
Okay, and the motion's been made by Councilman Ritchie and Councilwoman DeAndre, seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, dates are approved.
With the electronic recycling, last year I'd asked Harold about tire recycling, and he was gonna check into that. Is there a chance
in our-
of that this year?
It's in our contract, our garbage contract.
So we will be having
Yeah.
tire recycling then?
Yes,
Okay.
it's in the contract.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, next, you saw the extensive fire department report, which I thought was a real nice report. Seems like the fire department was pretty busy. So we have to approve that. Vince, do you have anything to add to that report or delete or say anything about since you're with the fire department?
I mean, just that the members and everybody, they did a hell of a job this year. I mean, there was a lot. We're getting requested in a bunch of different areas.
I noticed that.
Just because of, well, the new truck. I mean, it turns a lot of heads. It's equipped, and we're putting a lot of people through different training that people look for, because it's a, you know, there's a staffing problem everywhere, you know, in the volunteer. So, you know, we're just asked to go a lot of places because, as you can see, you know, all our calls, we have averaged 9 people out. I mean, you're lucky if you get, you know, 9 people in a couple of different departments coming. So, I mean, just hats off to them. They did a great job. They're still training. There's a lot on the agenda this year for us to do, with just training and hours. We have a guy that's, you know, in charge of scheduling all that stuff. So we got a lot done and a lot more to do this year. So it's going good.
I noticed that you guys spend a lot of time in Escahona.
We do spend a lot of time in Escahona. Well, that's the RIT training everybody did. So, you know, that's where we're getting into the areas of, you know, we're on response for Freeland for their RIT,
Right.
Escahoning for their RIT. And like last time we went down there, we got there before a lot of people, and we ended up going to work instead of doing what we called for. So we're just getting on a bunch of lists everywhere, and people keep wanting to add us. So we're just waiting to hear when they get added to run calls, and that's it.
Now, the RIT is the mutual aid.
No, there's mutual aid for everybody. Like, you know, we could, you know, be an engine company for whoever, but the RIT
I just wanted to clear it up when you say
RIT is rapid intervention team. That's basically, you go there just in case something happens to a firefighter, that you're there just basically to rescue, not to actually fight the fire or anything like that. So, yeah, we get called on a lot of those.
Do any of those calls, do we get compensated? When we made that ruling last year about,
That was basically for motor vehicle accidents?
That's only, that's, as far as I know, that is not any kind of mutual aid. That'd have to be in, like, our borough or Packer Township
Okay.
for something. That it would have to be our call, not to somewhere else. We're just kind of going just to help everywhere else.
very good.
Anybody else have anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, this morning I went through that, and I can't believe how involved you guys are in what you do and everything. And I sent Tom a text thanking him, so I just want to thank you and the rest of everybody publicly, because when I'm home sleeping at midnight and these whistles go off, I'd roll over and go back to bed. You know, it might be snowing or raining, you guys are out, so,
In minutes.
yeah,
I
thank
did a
you.
fire truck. And listen, I live closer to that fire siren than you,
Yeah.
so I usually fall out of bed.
And not only that, they do all that maintenance work down there. I mean, it's pretty impressive when you read that and you see what you guys do.
Yeah, and even in the community, you know, all the different parades for the teams, the Hill Club, we love doing stuff like that. So, you know, being a presence that everybody can just see us out and, you know, be involved, and people with their fundraising for us, and we appreciate it all. So thanks to everybody that puts their time in.
I know it's way after the fact, but not that it's over yet, but the things that you did for COVID when you used to take the fire truck to homes for the
Oh,
children
birthday
and
parades and stuff,
birthdays,
yeah.
and you know, they're out there, and you know, there's 4 or 5 firefighters on that fire truck, and they're taking their time to go do those things because everybody was boxed into their house there for a while.
And another thing, I mean, the Borough of Weatherly should be very grateful. I mean, you got a lot of communities are doing away with their fire departments. Here, we have a fire department that's coming back to responding, you know, citizens' service, and, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And we're very fortunate to have a fire department that we have. We've
And
always
their
had one,
membership
but now
went
it's,
up, right?
yeah, now it's up several notches. Good job.
There's a lot of calls that we get called to from Weatherly. They get called because they can't get a volunteer firefighting team out there. So, anything else?
Yes, I'd like to thank you very much for the community, the great service that you do. It's a great feeling knowing that we're safe and that people get out of bed and respond. So thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, we need a motion to approve the fire department report for 2022.
I'll make that motion to accept the fire report for 2022.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Thomas, seconded by Councilwoman DeAndre. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it, and good job to the fire department. All right, I don't know if there's any questions, but we need a motion to, that we have a request to vacate Blakesley Street. It's been discussed,
Well, this is
new.
This is new. At the last meeting, there had been another request to vacate a portion of a street, and council said, okay, we agree to do that. We'll go through the procedure, so long as the person who's asking pays all the costs of it. What happened was, I guess Seth wrote an article in the paper, and these people read it and said, geez, we'd like you to do that for us too. So it's similar to what you did last week. There are these people, and I'm not sure who their name is. Attorney Rich doesn't put their name in. That doesn't matter, but the question is, does council wish to offer the same to these people as you did last week to the others, to DeFrancisco?
Do you need that in the form of a motion?
It would
or-
need to be in the form of a motion, yes.
I'll make a motion that we do the same format for Blakesley Street as we've done previously for, what was the name?
Same as DeFrancisco. I can't remember
DeFrancisco
which street.
family.
Do you remember which street that was?
It was, yeah, Fell
DeFrancisco family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and,
Before I say
Hardy.
anything, Harold, do you have any problems doing that? Do you think it's not gonna affect us in any way, right?
no, it's not gonna affect us, no.
Correct.
so the motion should actually be move forward with
Right,
to vacate.
Move
the
forward
Blakesley
to
Street.
vacate
Provided
Blakesley
these people pay all the expenses.
and these people pay all the upcoming expenses for that.
Okay. That was a motion.
I'll second it.
And Councilman Seibert, I didn't want to repeat what you just said because I didn't know. I was listening to him and you. But all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. The next item is a resolution for PUC filing. I think we've been discussing that
Right,
prior, and everybody has to
Sign
sign a resolution.
resolution.
Every,
So,
that's what-
if you approve it, please don't leave until you sign the resolution.
Their attorney put everyone's
Wakefield,
name
right.
on there. Yeah, that was the electric move going out of our jurisdiction. So, we have to approve the resolution, and that was in our notebook there, so if you have a chance to take a look at it.
What do we wait for a resolution?
We're waiting for a motion.
Motion
Got a motion,
to
sorry.
approve it.
All right, I'll make a motion for the resolution for the PUC filing.
I'll second.
The motion been made by Councilman Seibert, seconded by Councilman Ritchie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it. And everyone has to sign this resolution today before you leave. That's not an order, but that would be nice if you did.
Yeah, I'd like to get it in.
Okay, and the next thing on our list is a resolution for the loan. That's the loan for...
This is the loan as we had discussed when we were doing the work back in October for the rehab we did on the substation. This is for the contractor. The loan will be paid off by the end of the year. I'd rather use somebody else's money than use ours. So,
It would work the same as the tax anticipation.
right, exactly the same. 70,000.
So we would need a motion to approve the resolution to take the loan, and it's just to pay off the, I don't know Harold to explain that, I sort of knew what it was about, but, so he could take the loan. The year.
A year, at the
By
end of this
by
year.
December 31, so less than a year.
Right, less than a year. Right.
We try and be elegant.
But that's why we all have to sign, so we all lose our house.
No, wrong resolution.
That's the one I signed, right?
Yeah.
So we need
Just
we
your
need a
house.
motion to approve the resolution for that loan.
I make a motion, we approve the resolution for the electric loan.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Seibert, then seconded by Councilman Miller. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution is approved.
And we'll pay for electric proceeds, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even gonna touch us with tax rate.
No, no.
And do we need the executive session?
Yes.
Okay. So now we'd like to adjourn, and we have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Executive
a
session.
motion's been made by Vincent Cutterford, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
Been seconded by Thomas, and we are in recess for a few minutes.
It is too late.
pass this down and
Yeah, there's 2 copies that have to be signed on this resolution. Yeah, I see that. They did change it.
Did you want to sign that?
Did you put the battery in?
You can pass it down and we'll pass it on.
No, I didn't put a battery in. I just changed the time.
Oh, no, it's not on there. So it doesn't need a battery.
It was,
Okay, do I have to make a motion?
It's what?
Go back
Second
and
hand.
We already did, it's done, Joe
I
Cybert.
did, yeah,
Okay.
I didn't put one in. I just
And you
changed
need
the
a
time.
motion to open to change the agenda to add the personnel policy.
We need a motion to open the agenda to add the personnel policy.
I make a motion to open the agenda to make an addition to the Weatherly Borough Personnel Policy.
I'll second.
Yeah, it's been made by Councilman Ritchie, seconded by Councilwoman DeAndre. And all those in favor, say aye.
I need one.
Anybody opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. And now we need a motion to adopt the brandy new personnel policy, which was a lengthy read, so don't ask us to explain it right now, Seth, or you'll be here until tomorrow. There's quite a bit of stuff in it. Joe, we don't have a problem with that. So if everybody's happy with it,
I'll make a motion that we accept the new borough personnel policy with its respective admissions or what we have to.
okay.
I'll second it.
The motion's been made by Councilman Thomas and seconded by Councilman Seibert. How about a roll call vote on that?
Joseph Seibert,
Yes.
Teresa DeAndrea,
Yes.
Vincent Cutterford,
Yes.
Joseph Thomas,
Yes.
Jeffrey Miller,
Yes.
Norman Ritchie,
Yes.
and Paul Hadzik.
Yes.
No.
Okay, the personnel policy was passed. Make sure they sign both of these.
Yeah, there's 2.
The next line of business would be for the drum roll and Norm Ritchie to do his duties, but before you do that, I know what you had mentioned in that we didn't let you talk about in executive session, but the 3 of you are sitting together. The 3 of you should go in and talk to Harold about what you were going to bring out. That's the way that should be, and just have the chief go in with you and the sergeant and have an open discussion on that. And the toughest, it's just going to be tough for Vinny. Make sure he's home, so he's not on the road. But that's something you should be face to face with.
Just to let him know what day.
Yeah, well, you guys could discuss that. I mean, we didn't have a formal committee, but from what I understand, the 3 of you were involved with talking about it. And then just get everything on the table and put it together. All right? Are you ready, Norman, to do your civil duty?
Make a motion when you adjourn.
Do we have a second it?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Ritchie, seconded by Councilman Cutterford. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.